Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you Cisco Jabber configuration and registration. So let's start that. Let me go and open my call manager. Okay, I think it has came up. Let's log into the platform admin. Okay, it's logged in. Let's log into the GUI. 192.168.1.11. So the new browser is not supporting. So, oh, I think it is supporting. Okay. Okay, we have logged in and I am in version 11.5.1 and it's going to expire in 25 days. So I don't have a license. So I'm just running it for demo. After 25 days, I have to reinstall again. If you have a backup, you can restore it from that. So you can start from where you left. Otherwise, you have to configure everything from the scratch. Okay, let's go into. So if you are installing the call manager for the first time, ensure that you go into the services and you have enabled all the mandatory service for the phone registration. Otherwise, the phone will not register. So you need the Cisco call manager, uh, the Cisco TFTP, and few other services. Yeah, I think these two are the main. You can enable IP video streaming if you're using for um, any supplementary services and other. I think mobility if you are using the extension mobility feature. Otherwise, I don't think it's needed for just the endpoint registration, call processing. You need this one and the Cisco TFTP. Okay, with that tip and note, let's move back to the phone registration part. Okay, I have a few devices already configured, um, but I am going to create one more. So this is the Cisco Jabber that I have already configured, but I will create another one to show you. Okay, I have a few devices already configured, um, but I am going to create one more. So this is the Cisco Jabber that I have already configured, but I will create another one to show you. So I am giving an device name something here. So it is not mandatory that you need to follow this. You can give whatever name you would like. You can choose the appropriate device pool. Basically, the device pool contains the call manager group and a few other information for the endpoint to use. So suppose if you are configuring it in the real-time production, there will be multiple subscribers. So you have to choose the appropriate group for the redundancy purpose. And suppose if there is a WAN outage, the SRSD reference that the endpoint has to use, that will be there, and also a local route group uh, to which local gateway the call has to be routed. So all those informations are under the device pool. So when configuring it, choose the correct one. For the phone button template, you can use the standard client service framework. All these stars has to be provided mandatory, otherwise you cannot save it. Um, for the user, for now I will choose anonymous, but it has to be created under the end user page, and then later we can come back and associate to this. For device security profile, we can choose the inbuilt profile that is already there in the call manager. And for the SIP profile, you can again use the standard SIP profile that came along with the initial call manager configuration. Uh, the others are all for Cisco telepresence endpoint and the infrastructure. So the right one for us is the standard SIP profile. So you don't need to create anything there. Moving on, moving on. Nope, not required. Those are all additional setup. I think we are done for now here. Let's save this. Have to click apply, configuration apply. It's not required since it is the device is not in registered state, but still as Cisco suggests, let's give the apply config, click OK. Done. So we have done the device part. Let's move back to the line. Let's configure some directory number for the Cisco Jabber. I'm going to choose a random number, something like 44, 55, 66. Then give a route partition. In the real environment, you have to choose the route partition. For now, in the lab, I have not created that, but in the upcoming video, I will create a specific route pattern, sorry, route partition, and assign that to the calling session space so that I can show you more on the call routing as I start developing my lab. Okay. Mm. So ideally in the real-time environment you will be having the calling space, but for now I have not created anything, so let's just ignore those and use the none partition, I mean calling space. Just for understanding purpose, I'm just giving an name here for the alerting name field, and then again for the display, I'm just giving it as display, which is the caller ID, so that when you make a test call, you will know which field is popping up where for a better understanding for you. External phone number mask is not required if you are making an internal call, but however, if you are making an external call to the telecom network, then the internal 6-digit number will not be recognized by them. It has to be a proper direct invert dial number, which is a DD number. So if you want to expand your 6-digit number into a proper DD number, then you can prefix the full number here. So when the call goes out to PSTN, it will be of proper E.164 format, which is the full number of 10 digits. Okay, saved. Let's go back to the device part. So everything has been configured here for Cisco Jabber except the user. So first part is the device that we have configured. Second part is the line configuration that we have just configured. The third part is the user configuration. So let's go back to this end user page, and I'm going to create a local user. Um, you can use any user ID format you want. Uh, the same user ID has to be associated to the Cisco Jabber that we just created. Otherwise, it will not work. If your system is integrated to Active Directory, then you don't need to configure end user here. You can create it from the Active Directory, and that will get synchronized here automatically. Since I don't have an Active Directory integrated with the call manager, I'm creating a local user. But watch out my space. I will be integrating Active Directory with Call Manager as I progress developing my lab. Okay, so for the password and PIN, I'm just giving 12345 last name, whatever name you would like to. Then let's come back, come down. Home cluster, that is already checked. We don't need to modify anything here. Extension mobility device association, that will be the latter part after saving the user. Extension mobility configuration part, we can ignore it. Primary extension, that has to be updated. Let us save the user first. Okay, now you should be able to see the device association and the primary extension field. Okay, let's go back to the device association and then associate the Cisco Jabber that we just created to this user. Save it. Then let's go back to the end user. You can see the device is associated now to the this particular user, and it is mandatory that we need to update the primary extension here. So the only extension that we have assigned to Cisco Jabber is 445566. So in case if there are multiple lines, then you have to choose which one will act as your primary extension. Okay, the last part in this section is to provide the privilege for this end user. So let's narrow down to the standard super user should be enough, but if you want to access the end user page for making changes to call forward on your extension and enable voicemail, call routing to voicemail, and other changes on your directory number, then you need to have the end user page enabled, and also CTI enabled role in case if you have any other application that depends on CTI. Otherwise, CCM super user should be enough. Okay, the group has been added. Once you save it, the roles will get auto populate for those three groups. Okay, I think we are done with the end user part. Let's go back to the device Cisco Jabber and then associate the Cisco Jabber to this particular user that we have just created. Yep, 44 55 66. Save it, click OK. Now we are done. Let's give one last apply configuration. Reset is not required since the device is not registered. So let's skip that. Copy the device name so that we can use it while configuring it for the client Cisco Jabber. Let's open my Cisco Jabber here. Okay, so as you see, it has just logged in into my previous test account. So let us log this out and log in with the user ID that I just created. Signing it out. Okay, it's taking a while to sign out. Oops. Okay, done. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so suppose before to this a quick tip. Suppose if you have the call manager host name field entered as IP address rather than the host name, then the Cisco Jabber will have trouble registering. So change the IP address to host name. The host name I am using here is CUCM 11.5, and that particular host name, when you ping it, should give you a response. If you don't get a response, then you need to update the local system host file, which is in C Windows System 32. So that I have already done, and hence I am getting a response while pinging the host name instead of the IP address. That is a very important note. Otherwise, you will face problem registering the Cisco Jabber, even you have configured it correctly. The LM host file should be somewhere here in the system's 32 folder or drivers folder. Uh, I think I have the configuration. I mean, uh, under the Windows settings, the file is hidden, and I don't have that option enabled. So you can easily find that file under this folder if you have the option checked out to show the hidden files as well. Also, if you have a problem, Google it. You can easily find that file. But for now, I'm going to show that file which I have it in my desktop, which I have already updated to a proper host name that I am using it. So let us go to that file and I can show you that. This is the file I'm talking about. So if you see, I have added the IP address of my call manager that I'm using it in the lab and the host name. So if you have IP address of .70 and the host name is just CUCM, you have to update that particular information here and save it, and then replace the existing host file under the C Windows System32 folder. Otherwise, your Cisco Jabber will not register. Okay, let's go back to the client Cisco Jabber. I don't see an option to go and change the settings. So let's reset this. Are you sure you want to reset Cisco Jabber? Yes, reset. You notice that after reset, you get the advanced setting. So it is set to auto discovery. Let's change that to Cisco Communication Manager 9 or later, since I know that I am not having IMN presence and I'm just using it for voice service. Uh, I'm just going to update my host name here. Save. Now let's try logging in with the user ID that we have created. Gopi 2020 445566. So the tip here is the Jabber login user ID should be in the format username at domain. Otherwise, it will throw you an error. I can show you what error it will appear. You will get that format not correct. Use username at example.com. So you have to make sure that you have a domain added to the user. In the real world, it should be something that you use to log in into your system and the domain that is in your email address. But for the lab purpose, I'm just creating a dummy host name. I mean, URL, URI, anything. It could be abc.com, whatever you like. I'm just giving it as yt.com. Save it. Then go back to Cisco Jabber. Just giving the domain name and then click login to continue. I think it is trying to find the service, trying to reach out to the call manager for registration. Everything is happening behind the scene. If you have any problem with this, then you can check the log. That's a good sign. We are getting now enter your username and password for phone service. So it has found that I am using it for phone service, not the IM and presence, since I have just chosen Cisco Call Manager rather than IM and presence or the automatic option in the advanced setting. Okay, let's give the pin 12345. Yep, hooray, we are logged in. So it worked flawlessly in the first time itself. I am logged in now and I can see there is no warning or error here. If you see that over here like a red mark or yellow mark, then you have some problem. Now I am good. This is the dial pad. Let's quickly go and see what it shows under the device registration status. Yeah, it is showing us registered. Okay, let's make some test call between Cisco Jabber and the Cisco IP communicator. I have a test Cisco IP communicator configured already. So let me open that and make a test call. Okay, it came registered. The version I'm using is 8660. The Jabber version that I'm using is version 12.6. Okay, let's see the registration status for the Cisco IP communicator. It is registered. The last part for this section, let's make a call from Cisco IP communicator to the Jabber by dialing 44 55 66. Yep, yep, hooray! I am getting a call from the IP communicator to the Jabber. I can hear it in my headset, and you can see it on the screen that I'm getting a pop-up from this. So the call got connected now. You can see on the Cisco IP communicator, this Cisco is showing us Gopi 2020 display. So this is the display name that is appearing here. The one other drawback that I am seeing it now here is people who used to use the IP communicator for a long time would know this trick. If you double click the question mark, you will get the call statistics, but I don't see that option in the Cisco Jabber. Probably it is there somewhere, but at the moment I don't see an option to check the video statistics from the Cisco Jabber. The call is connected for 1 minute and above, so let me disconnect and then make a call back from Cisco Jabber to IP communicator extension number 1002. Call back. Yep, that is good. I am getting a call from Cisco Jabber. Okay, the call got connected from Cisco Jabber to IP communicator. This is an internal call within the same call manager. So we don't need to worry anything about the call routing. That should automatically work. Only if you are making a call to external number, then you have a lot of other configuration that I will show you in the upcoming video. Okay, for now the test call is working back and forth. Let's do yeah, let's disconnect and go back to my notepad. So with this, I think yeah, Cisco Jabber configuration, registration, and the test call is complete. I am planning to build my lab and integrate a few things. IMN presence, have more subscribers in a cluster, create another cluster with a publisher and subscriber, and then establish inter-cluster trunk between the two call manager cluster, integrate Cisco Unity connection with the call manager cluster, and then show the real call flow. What else? Integrate UCCX into the call manager cluster. Mm, Also add uh, Cisco gateway and integrate it with the call manager, and then to the PSC network, E1 PI circuit, and also integrate a SIP GSM gateway, which has a SIP, I mean SIM card to it, SIM card in it, and then place a call to any mobile number from the Cisco Jabber or IP communicator. For that, I need to create a call routing configuration in the call manager. All these will be in the upcoming video section by section in different parts of the video. So please stay tuned, subscribe to my channel at Gopi 2020, and yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. I'm just thinking what else I can add into this setup so that it will be uh, more uh, more understandable. Okay, yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thanks. Bye.